Saving money is a tricky situation, especially for those people that's getting out of the military. But I'm about to give you 5 different things for those transitioning out of the military, how you can save money on a whole nother level. But stay tuned. Welcome back to Military Bred, where we talk to military people and discuss military things. I'm your host, Patrick Montgomery, aka Mont, and if this is your first time tuning into the channel, please like and subscribe. Click the bell notification to be notified whenever new content is being uploaded. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. And today I just want to kind of discuss these different things because I oftentimes hear so many people getting out of the military or whatever and not being prepared. But if you save as much as you can while you're transitioning out, you will set yourself up for an amazing future. But let's get down to it. These are 5 different things that you can do to save money that will help you once you're transitioning out of the military. Number 1, you need to create a detailed budget. Budgets are, honestly, when people hear budgets can sometimes shake a bunch of people simply because nobody wants to budget their money. Nobody wants to track what they spend. Nobody don't want to set money aside and be like, all right, this is going towards this is going towards this. But in all actuality, we need it. We need budgets in place, especially when you transition out the military, because you go from getting a paycheck every 2 weeks to possibly no paycheck if you don't have a job in place, or if you don't have your VA disability in place. And even if you do have your VA disability in place, you only get that once a month. You're used to operating off of 2 paychecks every 2 weeks. But when that's gone, man, I promise you, reality hit like crazy. Even for myself, yes, I had different things set up when I got out of the military, but seeing those days hit and it wasn't no deposits being made, it made me feel some type of way. But with that being said, you need to have a budget in place. You need to understand wants and needs. You need to focus on first your needs first. And then once you understand that all your needs are being met, anything left over can then go to your wants. But even then, you still kind of want to be mindful of how your money is spent, because with the military, that money was guaranteed every 2 weeks. With disability, that money is guaranteed every month. But when you go to a 9 to 5, if you're not on salary, and now that money is predicated simply off of how many hours that you put in, you need a budget. Number 2, you have to utilize your military benefits, such as the GI Bill, such as VA loans, such as different programs in place, such as vets, VRNE, whether it's Chapter 31, those different things. You want to make sure that you're utilizing them to your best capabilities. For the GI Bill, it's paying for you to go to school. It's paying for you to get a training certificate, whether it's through a tech school and apprenticeship, things of that nature. But they're paying you BAH for that. They're giving you money to honestly get the training that you need so that you're able to put money in your pocket. And a lot of people take advantage of the GI Bill simply because you're able to receive BAH, whatever area that you're going to school in. And a lot of people kind of double down with that by going to a school with the high cost of living, because the higher the cost of living, the higher the BAH. So a lot of people like to take advantage of that. Honestly, I don't blame them, because I mean, dude, you're able to offset some of your expenses through that money that you're receiving from going to school. Don't sound like a bad gig to me, but you know, to each their own. The VA loan, you're actually able to get a low interest, no down payment home loan. And I mean, all you have to do is fall within a certain bracket and a certain qualification. It's not too crazy. I think one of the biggest things is obviously that you can afford it, and 2, that you have a credit score, I think roughly 620, some 640, but you know, everyone is different. By having that in place, you're able to use these benefits to kind of set you up. Because I mean, being able to get a house loan with no money down, that automatically sets you apart from anybody else. So with that being said, make sure that you take advantage of the VA loan, because honestly it's important. Another one I would think is healthcare. If you take advantage of your healthcare, and a lot of people in the military, again, I feel like you're not hearing me. You need to make sure that you're going to sick call as much as possible, because having healthcare is going to save you money in the long run. Because if you're able to connect a bunch of things that you're dealing with, make it service connected, you're able to allow the VA to cover a bunch of these things. So now if something go wrong with these things that were once service connected, they're willing to pay for it. They're going to help you through whatever ailment that you're going through. And side note, I mean, if you 100%, you're able to get healthcare for your family for free. Just dropping all the juice for y'all, but hope you're taking it. Number 3, find employment resources. Use them, please use them. I can't stress it enough. Please use them. Use your veteran employment programs that you have within the military. One of the biggest things I know, once you're getting out of the military, you have something called CSP. Now, CSP allows you to do on the job training, whether it's through apprenticeships, whether it's through internships, but you're able to set yourself up to when you get out of the military, you're able to have a job already secure. So it's almost like you closing one door and you're opening another one almost simultaneously. But it's allowing you to go ahead and have that stability set forward. So it's not like once you get out of the military, now you're scrambling. Now you're trying to figure out like, oh man, how I'm gonna pay my bills and all this kind of other stuff. Now you don't even have to worry about it because you have that in place. But make sure that you're taking advantage of it. Think of a field that you are willing to give at least, I would say, 3 to 5 years in. Just run with it and continue to set yourself up. Continue to put that money back, set that money aside, and invest. But something else I feel like you can kind of do too is network. In the military, I feel like you meet so many different people. You come across all these different people, especially going to different trainings. Learn to talk to these contractors. Learn to talk to people, wherever. Because a lot of people don't understand, but networking, knowing the right people, honestly will set you up. Because a lot of times you're able to walk in a job without even doing an interview, without even turning in a resume, simply because you know this individual, they're a friend of yours, they're situated, they have a high place in a certain company. So now, they're able to allow you to skip the line. But that's what you want to do. Make sure that you take advantage of the people that surround you, because the people that surround you can not only set you up for the future, but it can also save you money in the long run. Number 4, you need to cut your housing costs. You need to cut your housing costs. And why I say that is because a lot of people don't understand that having a house on your own, it can be a bit much, especially when that mortgage come around. Oh my God. Sometimes I get sick to my stomach. Yes, I have the money to afford it, but a lot of times I'm like, dang, if I had a bunch of different other things in place, such as a roommate, honestly, just downsizing honestly would help me out too. But at the same time, you understand that downsizing, whether it's getting a roommate or whatever, it's cutting your expenses heavily. You're able to allow your money to move a little more freely. Because honestly, let's just say this. If you get your 100%, you're making somewhere around $3,900 a month. That's with no dependents, I believe. And you have a mortgage that's $3,400. How does that make sense? Now, majority of your money is going towards this mortgage. When in all actuality, if you downsize, get something more smaller, get something more affordable, whether you have a roommate that's paying half of that, you're able to allocate that money to different locations. And one of the biggest things, even I was out last night and I was talking to one of this millionaire dudes that I came across or whatever. He's heavy into real estate, and he was like, one of the biggest things I felt like a lot of your generation don't understand, what they need to be doing is investing. But if all your money is going to a house payment, if all your money is going to your utilities, your bills, car payment, all these different things, how can you have the money to invest? It don't make sense. It don't make sense at all. But even if you don't want to get a roommate, even if you don't want to downsize, make sure that you move to an area where the cost of living makes sense, that you're actually able to, again, invest in different assets that's going to bring you money in the long run, that's going to set you up for the future, that is going to put money back into your pocket. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but you need to cut housing expenses. Number 5, I'm not a big Dave Ramsey fan, but when he says this, I got to agree with 100%. You need an emergency fund. You need an emergency fund. One more time for the people outside, you need an emergency fund. Why do you need an emergency fund? You don't understand that anything can happen once you transition out the military. Whether it's death in the family, whether your kid gets sick, whether you get sick, spouse gets sick, car break down, your air conditioning unit go out. All these different things can happen once you get out of the military. But if you don't have an emergency fund in place, it's going to hurt you. You need an emergency fund. Whether it's an account that you set aside that you're depositing money into every so often or whatever, you need to have something in place for when the storm comes, you're able to handle it with poise. And I know a lot of people would say, oh yeah, just having money sitting in a bank account, it don't make sense. And I honestly gotta say, I was one of those people. But when it came down to it, like seeing different things happening, even being a homeowner, I understand, man, when an air conditioning unit go out, man, that's anywhere up from 5 to 8 bands. But can you really say that you're able to pay 5 to 8 bands for an air conditioning unit, and if you ain't got the money in place? Oh, I got a credit card. Yeah, a credit card, cool, but you still gotta pay that credit card back. The more debt that you create is honestly gonna hurt you in the long run. Yeah, you can pay it back over time, but as my wife would say, man, that interest is gonna continue to accrue. But if you had an emergency fund in place, it can save you so much time, so much energy. You need to have an emergency fund set. Honestly, to even piggyback off that, to have your savings, have things on automate, have it to where it's pulling from your money maybe once or twice a month to put this money aside. Because oftentimes, we have different things that happen in our life or whatever. We're just like, I don't want to put this money in the emergency fund right now. I'll do it next month. Just have it automated to where it's going directly to that account. Because if you have to control it, a lot of times, again, things happen. But once it's automated, you know for sure that it's going directly to that account, and there's nothing you can do about it. Man, but I said a mouthful today, but that's all I kind of want to get out to you guys, because having things in place, especially when you're getting out of the military, can sometimes be crazy. But if you do the right things, you can not only set yourself up for tomorrow, but you will set yourself up for years down the line. But incorporate these 5 things, especially when you're transitioning out the military, and I promise you're walking your way to success, hands down, period. But with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you leave me some information in the comments, just in case I forgot some things that you can do to, improve your transition out the military. But those are the things that I think are necessary, and I feel like you should really be paying attention to above all things. But with that being said, hey, till next time, you guys, hey, stay tuned for more, hey, military bread. Let's eat.